What's up? Fuck. I did fuck up there.
I was looking for a lighter. I was looking for a lighter to have going for when the camera turned back on me. What's up, man?
What's up? How's it going?
It's going well. Welcome back to the Crucible podcast. It's just me today. Emil has other things going on, and this is actually, he and I took a little break because he was going on vacations. He had work things going on. I had work things going on. I just got back from vacation. We were kind of scheduled to record yesterday, which was Wednesday, right? Yeah, yesterday's Wednesday. And now he can't record today. So we just said, you know what? We're going to do it because we both have the time and we got nothing better to do, right?
Oh, yeah, man. It's good to be back on.
It is. Thank you. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for coming on. I was just in your state in Florida, 2 weeks vacation. I didn't get a chance to come say hello, so I kind of feel like a dick, but it happens. That's life on the road with family. There's so much everything else going on. We got a chance to see some wild gators.
Nice. Did you eat any gators?
What's that?
Did you eat any gators when you're here? That's a big
no. I didn't. I have before in the past. I've actually, the last time I was fishing the Gulf, some people might squirm a little bit, but I ate the heart out of a fresh tuna that I had caught and brought it in the boat. That was something they told me I had to do, and I wasn't afraid to do it, and
nice.
Ate the heart out of them, which was pretty weird, I guess. But
a long time. I'll be honest, it's been maybe about 20 years since I've had a gator, but I do remember it tasting chewy. It's more chewy.
Yeah, it's a little chewy. But do you know, you're not far from it, a little place called Gatorland?
Yes, Gatorland. I haven't been there, but I have heard great things about it for sure.
We love going there. So it's just one of those places we like to visit because there's just so many of them, right? And they are they're rescued. So it's not like they're just kept in captivity. I mean, some of these things are missing their top jaw. They're missing eyes. They're missing legs. So they're taking care of them there.
Yeah, they really take care of the animals there from what I've heard.
Yeah, they're well taken care of. So it's nice to see all that stuff. But then where we stay, you probably notice it, and I just kind of catch on to it while I'm down there. There's all these ponds dug everywhere. And I tell you, they're full of snakes and gators, and we see them all the time, and you don't think about it. I mean, I do, but the kids don't. You're standing there looking at it, and you just don't know what's underneath that water. So you just got to stay the hell out of there, because if you see one, there's more than one.
I know I went canoeing with my wife maybe 10, 15 years ago as well. And we just got on the boat. We live near some hot water springs here. And I'm telling you, there's full of gators are everywhere, like in Florida. Like you can go down any lake or spring and you'll see them. But
that's the other thing about Gatorland too, is they have crocodiles there as well. And
right.
Got them
together. Gators fight on like some natural it was a YouTube short or something. And I saw them fighting it out just in the wild in Florida. I was like, that's amazing.
That's nuts. Yeah. They got a couple of albinos, and they got your snakes and tarantulas and all that good stuff. Yeah.
Eating gator, though, I actually went on a cruise, and I got back from the cruise, and on cruises you just eat and eat and eat and eat. They have
nothing else to do.
Kinds of crazy stuff on there, but when I got back, I was like, I'm gonna tone it down a little bit. I'm gonna go pure vegetarian, and so I'm gonna say about 3 weeks I've been pure vegetarian, no meat, nothing.
Oh man, I don't know if I can do all that. I need to do it once in a while.
It's a good de-cleanse. I feel a lot. My skin is cleared up and all kinds of stuff. It's nuts, man.
Then the last time we were in Florida, so this is going back 2 years because we missed last year. My brother-in-law and my nephew, they actually went on a gator hunt. They shot 2 alligators, and, you know, brought all the meat home and stuff. So we did have some back home because on that same trip we went fishing and we just had a huge fish fry, gator fry. Even then, you know, it didn't matter what you did to it. Some people love it. It's just not my thing.
It made
I'll have beef.
It makes me want to eat when people talk about meat. Oh no, don't talk about it.
Now we're here for a couple reasons, and I can see a little glance of, I don't know, is what you told me, is that the truth? Is that
it's so big
the
that
biggest NGC slab?
It takes up that entire street.
Look at that thing. In a perfect 70, Spectre's Holy Lance. Check that thing out. Numbered 31 of 999. I'm looking at mine right now. Mine's number 407, but mine's not in a giant slab.
Look at my head. My entire
I know
head.
your head's that thing is huge. What's the length? What's the thickness? What's going on here?
I haven't measured it, to be honest, but it is, I want to
say
it's probably about 6 inches long, I would say.
I'm going to say it's more than that because I got a dollar bill 6 inches, and the coin itself is 6 inches.
That's huge.
Yeah, so that's probably
right.
Got to be close to a foot.
Yeah, it's very long. It's probably one of the longest coins that I've ever seen. I mean, I didn't think that they were going to be able to put it in a slab when NGC
That's what
got
we were talking about.
I thought NGC was going to put it in like a regular, larger slab. This is what's called the NGC Mega Slab, which is the largest slab that they produce.
Oh my lord!
It costs about, I want to say about $300 or $325 or something to put it inside one of these slabs.
Really?
Do like a cost basis, a regular NGC small slab for like Silver Eagles or whatever. Those cost, you know, $25 or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you go to the next step up for like those 5 ounce or 10 ounce coins, or 2 ounce even. Requires a thicker, larger slab. Probably about half the size of this, and that costs about $50. Actually, the fees have gone up. It's about $52 to $55 now to put those 2 to 5 ounce coins in there, and then that size goes all the way up to a kilo, for the most part, unless it's a gigantic kilo like the size of this, and then it would require a mega slab. So you see those Libertads, the Libertad kilos still.
Libertads, another one I could think of is a Kookaburra.
It still fit in those $50 slabs or whatever. But when you get to this size, when the dimensions are longer than 120 millimeters or something like that, or thicker, and the diameter is thicker, you have to get a large NGC mega slab to fit it in. And I don't think any other grading service does that. I think NGC is the only one, because I've been doing a lot of stuff with ICG, and all they do are like small 40 millimeter coins and stuff like that. So this is quite unique. I thought it was awesome. My client wanted it done, and we got him a 70, and he's going to be really happy about it. And this guy, everything he ever submits, he rarely gets 69s or 60 or anything. That's good. He gets all 70s. He's so lucky. One of the luckiest guys I know.
You know, and it makes me wonder, because that's not your typical coin, right? No. It makes me wonder what they're actually looking at, because there's nothing to compare that to. Like, they have nothing to compare that to as far as grading. You know, what are they? That would be an interesting conversation to have with somebody as far as doing something like this. Is what are they looking for that says that's a 70? You know, because now they have one to compare if somebody else was to send theirs in, and now you know the pricing, which is about $325. Well, probably more after you ship all that good stuff.
The criteria for a 70, and I talked to a guy that's one of the biggest Silver Eagle sellers on eBay. His name is Jesse James. He's just rare coins. You might have seen his name pop up on.
Sure, probably.
Anyway, he told me, this is a long time ago, he told me that the criteria for a 70 is that it has no visible dings or scratches bigger than like a micromillimeter. If you can see it with your naked eye, it's a visible scratch. It's going to get a 69. So it can have very tiny.
That's naked eye too. Yeah. What are they putting it under? How many power?
I'm not sure what the magnification is, but if you can see it with your naked eye, it's not going to get a 70. Like any dings or scratches. But if you can magnify and you see some tiny little dings or imperfections, sometimes 70s pass for that. And I've
Sometimes
seen
somebody's passive for
a lot
that.
that get 70s that still have some bag marks or ding marks. You know how they put them in those tubes and they rattle. Some of those
Yeah, yeah,
coins
yeah.
still get 70s and they're not perfect. I mean, everyone says perfect. And perfect is relative. When you put it in magnification, you can see all kinds of imperfections. So
People do get irritated too when you see 24-karat gold coins in a slab and they get that little tiny rust spot on them. They're wondering, how does this get a 70, right?
exactly. The red spots.
Um, how is that in there? Is that nice and tight? It's not going to move around. I mean, as long as someone's
I
careful with
took
it.
it to me, it doesn't rattle or anything. It is a tiny bit off centered. If you look at it,
Uh-huh.
it's
A little bit.
bothers people that are OCD that it's tipped off to maybe like there's 12 o'clock and then there's 1 o'clock,
Yep.
probably like 12.5, like 12:30 or something. It's very tiny bit off center right there, but it's nice.
Yep.
I love it. It's something that you won't see ever again. This is the first mega slab I've ever got done, and we slapped hundreds, maybe thousands of coins for
Yeah, no
people.
doubt.
And
See, and you did send a couple pictures to post along, and that's what I wanted to show how this came in. I think I have yeah. So there's the box, and then that's a 1-ounce Libertad, right?
yep, that's a Libertad proof at the
Yep.
very 1 ounce. Yep.
So there you go.
Well,
I mean, if
40
somebody can picture the size of that, look at it.
that's a 40 millimeter versus whatever this is, 150 or something millimeter, which is way longer, way longer.
That's so cool to see. It is, and
And the guy who
hopefully
the spec
gets to watch it and
who
see
came
their
up,
stuff.
I wish I could ask him some history behind this coin, why he chose to get it done. Obviously, it's the Holy Lands, which was the spear of destiny that basically struck Jesus Christ during the crucifixion and ultimately killed him.
Because even, I mean, the display that they use,
Right,
that Spectres puts us in is very, very nice.
right. I have a childhood story about the Spear of Destiny, the Indiana Jones. I think there's a game or something, Indiana Jones and the Spear of Destiny.
Excuse me.
Like I just remember that name, and it's always given me like just the aura behind it is so cool, and that the fact that they came up with a real coin to resemble a relic or an artifact like that, which we'll never actually see that piece in real life. Just and everybody gets to hold it, whether you're a Christian or not. It's just an amazing thing to have.
And well done.
And
Excuse me. Well done. For them to
very well.
have it made, have it shipped, you have it sent to NGC, go through all that process.
Yes, it took a lot
And
too. This was like a
get a
3.
70 still.
I know
To
you
get
asked,
that 70 is huge.
you were waiting. You kept on asking me. I'm like, it's coming, but they took like 4 or 5 months, as you
I
know.
was checking the census.
Oh, I'm sure there can't be more than 1 or 2 of these guys out there that know.
I wouldn't believe so either. He said that, so I forget what the hell he said. I want to say the Hannibals, maybe that's what he was talking about. He saw some that were graded.
Oh yeah, that's a great too. I mean, they're
Yeah,
coming
they are
fire stuff right now. One of the best mints out there. He's actually one of the guys that we were talking about tariffs and stuff the other day. He's one of the mints that is
Yes.
concerned with the tariff situation out there in Singapore and how it's going to affect delivering to all his customers in the United States. He tested out some of the tariff variables when he was getting on FedEx trying to ship some of these coins. And
Mhm.
this guy is a big dealer. I mean, he supplies bullion exchanges and all these big firms. Even Jam Bullion, I think he's done an exclusive for them. But we're talking about all those revolver coins that you see on bullion exchanges, all those Trump guns. Spectres
Yep.
does manufacture those coins, and they have to ship them to the United States. And so if this tariff situation is not resolved, where people are not getting taxed or tariffed, uh, which is essentially a 20%. Sorry, it's a 10% tariff in Singapore. Uh, it's one of the lower tariffs, but it's still a 10% on a $200 item. That's a lot of money. That's $20 extra that all these consumers have to pay. And then think about the number of units that Bullion Exchanges orders, or a
Oh,
guy
for
like
sure.
I order like 25 to 50, but they order 500 to 1,000. So
Yep.
that's money.
Yep.
dollars times 1,000, 20 grand right there.
No, and that's kind of what I wanted to touch on a little bit, because you are who you are, and you're quite a dealer yourself. As far as that goes, what I was wondering is, how is that going to affect you, or how is that going to affect, I guess, let's just use me as an example as a customer, on your pricing. Now, what you were sharing with me, and I have pictures, and I can bring them up if you want to go over them,
Sure.
the stuff you were sending me, but you were sending me specific codes that you said came from the White House about tariffs on bullion or collectibles, because in the stacking community, it seems like a hot topic of, are they going to be putting tariffs on this silver and gold bullion, or is it just going to be collectibles, or is it not collectibles and the bullion, or is it supposed to be any of it?
So the real and final answer is none of us know 100% for sure exactly what's going to happen with the tariffs, and we still don't until we actually get the bill from FedEx or UPS, and that's after you get your item delivered from these countries outside the United States. You get a tariff or a customs bill that comes in, and that's the final bill that tells you if there's going to be a tariff or not. And before all these fears of tariffs came from the Trump administration, there was a time when we were still getting tariffs, and we were still getting a percentage of fees from mints in China. We would still get 10%. And so we saw these fees coming in, and we realized that there are certain codes that you have to put on products to make sure that your product does not get taxed or tariffed for that particular code. And in this particular case, the White House, like you said, has come out with exemption codes for silver and gold. And if you look at that chart, when a company in any country ships you these items, they're supposed to declare the item under this HTS code, or it's a harmonized tariff code. And
Okay.
there's one for silver bullion, there's one for gold bullion, and those are just bars and
You,
rounds there.
you sent me another one that was really small. It just, when I loaded it on here, you
Yes,
really couldn't see it. It was just long and stretched out.
you're really.
But they are up to top. You see silver bullion, you see
And
gold.
those aren't coins; those are just bars, rounds, non.
Yes, exactly.
And Spectres does ship stuff like that bulletproof vest that is not a country coin that
That's not a coin, correct?
would probably fall under that silver bullion, or anything that is just a plain Germania coin. Those are not really those are not really country coins. The Germania, all the stuff they put out is just, it says 2 mark on there, but those are actually just rounds, really, or metals.
Uh-huh.
So
Yep.
they for that same silver bullion category. And if you put that, if these companies put that code on your invoice when they ship it for the commercial invoice, once the tariff agents, the customs agents see that code, they're supposed to just exempt it. And as you know now, Trump has said that we're on a 90-day pause for all tariffs, and technically
Yes.
there shouldn't be any tariffs at all for 90 days from these countries, except for China.
And for anybody who wants to know, this is being recorded on April 10th of 25.
But it's going back and forth. Last week there were, I think it was, on average 10-25% tariffs. And then China went to 25 to 50, and from 50 to 100, and from 100 to 125.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
is back and forth,
They just kept shooting back and forth.
what the final tariff is going to be. And so I think the people that are ordering stuff from China at this point are probably not going to order stuff from that's made in China, because if you think of 125% tariff on an item, that's double the cost of an item that you would normally pay, plus an extra 25%. That's what 125% means on a collectible item from, for example, all the NZ Mint Agoro products are all
Mm-hmm.
China, all made in China. When they declare and they make those items, even though it's shipped from China to New Zealand, and then New Zealand to us, they still have to declare that effigy and denomination of coin was registered and made in the country of origin in China. And so when that happens, there's no way around that tariff.
There's no way around that. That's right.
125% tariff if you were to order any of those items from China or NZ Mint right now. And so people are scared about ordering. We're not just talking about dealers, we're talking about normal customers that order directly from the NZ Mint or Agora website. no one has a clear indication of what kind of fees or taxes they're going to pay when those items hit your door. So keep that in mind when you're ordering that kind of stuff, that, you better watch out. You might get a double bill for what you're
Well,
buying.
and that's the next question. Is that price going to be affected on New Zealand Mint's website, or is that something you're going to have to pay extra to have that delivered to your house?
And so there isn't a clear indication of, even on their
Right.
web, whether that tariff or fee is going to be applied to a bill, because it really has nothing to do with them as a company. It has to do with the White House and the Trump administration, and then of course all these customs agents and UPS and FedEx, when they check items in, these companies are afraid that they're going to get in trouble if they don't tariff or they don't tax something. So
Uh-huh.
most of these guys at these companies, UPS, FedEx, they're just putting it on there just in case, because they don't want to get in trouble if they don't put it on there too. So at this point, if you do get a tax or a tariff from any country but China, and you're supposed to be exempt for silver, gold, or collectibles. I put a code on that sheet that is for collectibles as well. That's a coin. It's a coin code for items that are not silver bullion, not silver bars, not gold bars, but actual government issued coins. There's a code just for coins as well, and that should cover
I
collectibles.
think is this it down here where it just
Right?
says coins?
That's coins, NESOI
Yep. Yep.
711.
Yep.
That one is basically the coins and collectibles government issued coin code. And
So this is good for me if let's just say I was ordering from somebody
yeah,
other than New Zealand Mint, and it got sent to me, or it got mailed to me, or would I receive a bill before I even got it? I guess is what I'm trying to come up with.
so yes, you would not receive a bill until the item is actually delivered. Typically, even though the customs clearance is before an item gets delivered, obviously to your door, the
Hmm.
bill usually appears afterwards, and it comes in the mail through FedEx or the UPS. It's a
Okay.
post bill. In some cases, they will give you a COD where you have to pay at the door while it's getting delivered as well. And you'll know that you got hit with the tariff if your account is under cash on delivery or COD. Sometimes you
Uh-huh.
will pay for that tariff or that extra fee right as you get it delivered as well. So before you can actually get delivery of the item, you'll have to write out a check to that carrier. And yeah, there's no way in advance to know if you're going to get it or not until.
Got you. Got you. But this is a good form for anybody to take a screenshot right now, basically, and have it for reference if it was to happen to them.
Exactly. You have that,
So do that if you're watching.
have it
Have
under
this.
thing in case you order anything overseas. And if you need to fight it in court, technically you should be able to get exempt on any silver coins, bullion, collectibles, anything under that category. Um, you can use
For at
that
least the next 80 some days,
for the next 80, 90 days. Well, this tariff is on pause. And
which
yeah,
happened yesterday or the day before, right?
pause. Yeah, the pause was a couple days ago.
Yep.
Uh, and then of course after that pause ends, we'll see where the tariff situation lies. Hopefully it's in our favor and we don't have to deal with it ever again. Because it's pretty,
We'll see.
fighting this stuff is not easy. Like once you do get that tariff, you have to fight it with UPS or FedEx, even though you do have that form there and it's a good thing to have a safekeeping. You never know how much you have to go through. I mean, I know a dealer or two that have got tariffed this past week for 25%
You were saying that.
from Germania and a few other mints, and they've had to fight it. And it is an hour to 2 hour process on the phone, back and forth, talking to supervisors, emailing, showing the proof of the tariffs. It's not an easy process, and it would take someone that hasn't gone through it before a long time to negotiate and take off that tariff. So it's not something
With
that's
the headaches, with the hold time.
exactly, calling on the phone and all that is not fun anyway, but it takes an extra hour or two to get that all done. So
Lordy.
yeah.
Lordy, Lordy. Now, since you did mention Germania, you were dropping, I mean, there's a lot of stuff this week. So
Oh,
let's just start there.
sure.
Right. So this is a big one. This is what a lot of collectors have been waiting for. And I don't know if they just teased that little Easter egg version that they had, but I actually thought that was kind of different. I don't know if you saw it on Instagram or not,
Right.
but had one that was kind of decorated like an Easter theme.
Oh,
But this is the next beast. Tell us what's going on.
so yeah, the series, Germania Beast series, I believe it started with the Fafnir dragon, which was the first release,
Yep.
and they all come, it's a single coin, but it's double sided. One side is the front of the animal, and the other side, if you flip it around, is the other side, the tail side of the animal.
Yep.
And the cool part about these coins is you can put them in infinity or duo capsules from Germania, and it lines up. You can see it on the very bottom pick there. It's a duo.
Yep.
It doesn't come naturally with the coin as a duo capsule set, but we've ordered a bunch of extra duo capsules if anyone needs them. We have thousands coming, and you can always purchase them.
So they do come individually capsuled. So to have what you're saying, the dual, you would have to order 2 of the coins and put it in that separate capsule.
Correct.
If that's how you wanted to display it, right?
That same coin, you just flip it around and you put it in that duo capsule, and it shows a continuous infinity design or duality design. I guess it's called infinity design of the animal, and it looks really cool in that custom capsule as well. So
it does. And then the other version that they had, very, very limited. I don't have a picture of that, but
yeah, we only got 5 of those. Every year it comes out. I think Fenrir was last year, the year before. The Fenrir, I don't even know how to describe that animal. How would you describe it? What is the Fenrir?
Well, it's almost like a wolf, right?
Yes, like a werewolf. I guess that's a good way to describe it. It's a werewolf mystical creature, and on that one as well, there was a gilded version, black gilded with proof, and then this version as well had this coin. How do you pronounce this one? Gillenbursty?
Gillenburst. Yeah.
I've always wondered how that's pronounced. I'm sure the Germania people could school us on how to pronounce that correctly. But it's a pretty awesome coin for sure. And series, we love it. Love it. And all the
I mean, the stuff they're putting out is just great. That I don't have it with me, but the Germania with the UV lighting, dude, that is a total game changer, I believe, for them and many mints around the world.
Are we talking about that? The UV light that turns color when you turn it.
It turns color. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
it is beautiful.
Spectacular.
And it is. And it's hidden. It's completely hidden. You cannot tell that coin has any of that on it until you hit it with that black light. It's amazing.
Comps or how much that goes for now? That the coin.
I haven't.
I
haven't.
A commemorative coin that you could only get at the show, the Berlin WF show. And then that was probably $125 coin at the show. I've seen eBay comps in the $300 range so far on that one, which is it's accumulated extremely in value. But it deserves to, because it does groundbreaking coin. It has a lot.
That's just it. Groundbreaking. And I was in talks with them with a couple of my contacts there, and we're trying to get Simon lined up to have a conversation. I love the company. I want to know more about it on his end, but realistically, I want to pick his brain on what that is all about and where he sees that going next.
Technology. I mean, I had thoughts about it as well when I was in Berlin. I didn't get to meet Simon. I shook his hand briefly in Berlin, but I didn't get to really talk to him either. But I do know that technology, a lot of designs are in the works to use that technology again, and a lot of other mints have looked at that technology. And Germania doesn't just mint coins for themselves. They do projects for everybody
and anybody.
All the different mints around the world are interested in that technology to use on their coins, because it's such a new technique.
Picture the silver maple, with as advanced as that is, or again, like I talked about it in a video, I could see the Britannia including that somewhere in their security features, because those coins are so secure, but they're constantly, somebody's trying to make a fake out of them. But just picture that silver maple leaf with that little tiny maple leaf, and then inside of that is the year of the maple leaf. Very, very small. You need a loupe or microscope to see it. But then all of a sudden, just dab a little bit of that stuff in there, just so you know that that is legit. It's just
And you
something I could see happening.
need a little black light to see that.
Yeah.
And that would be
Yeah.
that would be the way, like the signature that it is real, basically. That would be
Exactly.
awesome way to protect the coin from counterfeits and all that kind of thing.
So that was one that a lot of collectors were waiting for, and this is another one.
And they've been waiting.
This
They've been waiting months. I've been getting questions about that. Germania teased it 2 or 3 months ago, and we kept on hearing.
Yes.
I kept on hearing over and over that it's coming, and finally it launched this week, and people are like relieved that it's finally here. So
yes.
But yeah, this next one is another one that people have been waiting for months. Maybe
I think the last one was 2022.
they've been waiting years for this, 9 months. They've been waiting a year at least for this
Yep.
next drop. And the one before this was the Dillinger coin, and before that was Bonnie and Clyde, and before that
Al Capone.
To start off this series. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And a beautiful, again, is it pick, or do they cannot pronounce it pick, or is it PIK? What do you
I think it's pick, but I've heard PIK as well. I did him in Germany.
So we're on the same page.
The owner of that company, his name is Kuba or Jacob.
Yeah, we were actually emailing today back and forth.
Oh, he's a great guy. I love talking to him. And of course, people have been, pounding him. When is this coming? When is this coming?
He's got ties with Germania Mint too.
Yes, he does. He does. He used to work. He used to be in a. I don't know what his position was there, but Germania used to make some of their colorized coins early on as well. And now they do their own in-house colorization. That company's come a long way. Pitcoins. This was the major release, the Gangster series, when the Al Capone came out. Nobody really knew who Pitcoins was, and now fast forward 3 or 4 years later, they're a big force in the European coin industry. It's just an awesome coin. I mean, look at that thing. It's like
it is. It's they're 2 ounce. They're high relief. They're ultra high relief. They do come in those big ass thick capsules. It's got a beautiful display box. It looks like an old like whiskey crate or something like that.
Exactly. The thing that I
really a spot for all 4
about Pitcoins is that they managed to incorporate Americana or part of our culture into their coins. Even though the gangsters are a dark part of our culture per se, it's still amazing to see that Sopranos or whatever, anything gangster, America loves to hear and see that of their culture, even if it is dark. It's good to see and know that history did exist, and they did a great job portraying it on the coin. It looks so realistic.
They do. It's I always say this when I get to show stuff off like this on my channel is, these pictures really give it no justice. I mean, it looks great by itself, flat on a computer screen. I mean, it looks good. It's like, man, they are very, very well detailed.
Is also the hole, the bullet hole.
Yeah. Yep.
Through it, and it's a really unique coin. And of course, just like the Germania that we talked about, this coin has accumulated in value immediately before it comes even out on the retail sales floor worldwide.
Yes.
These coins are already sold out almost immediately. In the
yes.
And so by the time that it actually gets into collectors' hands, the initial sales price was probably about $450 or something. By the time that actually hit the actual secondary market, they're $500, $600, $700 coins overnight. And that is amazing. Amazing.
And it's one of those pills you have to swallow if you don't have a way to get the 4th. And this, I mean, you have the other 3, it is a great series.
I've had guys that have dedicated themselves to being on a subscription, basically, from one to the last one. They just want to buy every single one right off the bat. From the first one, they're already subscribed to buy the second, the third, and now this one, the 4th. And so when it comes to us allocating enough supply for all those guys that want to buy it that are new collectors, it's very difficult because you already have these guys that have bought every single
Yes.
it, and so they're subscribed to buy the entire series, and it's hard to. I have to be fair to them too, but and then I also want to have some extra supply for the guys that do.
Right.
I
And
luckily
I'm one of those guys.
I did. I
I've
did
been on board. I've been on board with you since the Capone for this series.
exactly.
It's
You and,
great.
you and Stormy and a few other guys. I get these messages. You know,
When is it? Where is it? When? Don't
Stormy
forget me.
Stormy heard her whisper that this coin was coming out, and he's another YouTuber on here, Empire Precious Metals Stormy. I'm sure you guys all know who it is, and he's texting me saying, "I heard that this coin just came out, and I had just posted this thing like 1 or 2 seconds before. How did this guy know that I had posted it? I don't know, but
He's the
my
coin whisperer.
yeah, somebody told him or whatever. It got leaked within 5 to 10 minutes. I get a text and he's like, "How much is it? I'll pay you right now for it."
Yeah. Hey, I mean, if that's the way to get one, money talks, man.
It does. We got lucky enough that there were a few guys that canceled their subscription that
I
basically
saw that.
that
I saw that.
yes, everybody wants it and everybody wants to collect, but it's an expensive coin and we're not in the best economy.
Do you think the weight hurt that?
The weight of the coin?
Yeah, like not the weight as far as troy ounces,
Oh,
the
the
weight
weight,
time frame.
time frame. I think so. I think, people were just getting frustrated. I think you have to do kind of a back release, maybe once a month or once every 3 to 4 months.
Like 3 to 4, kind of like they do. And I'm a collector of those Zombucks from Provident or JM, whoever comes out. They're actually doing that really well. They're doing that really well as far as they're only doing a minting process for 3 or 4 months. And
Yes,
once they hit that time frame, they're done. So each coin or each Zombuck, not a coin, around, actually has a different mintage than the prior. And the
sure.
thing is, they keep dropping. Like with each new release, they're not doing as many. So it's just one of those series that if you like it, you like it. If you don't, but is it going to go up in value because there's so few? It doesn't bother me because I'm just collecting it to have it, not really
It's
for flipping processes. But
my numismatic Bullion release, the Zombuk series, and I think it's one of those collectible releases that it's out there for everybody. Like everybody can afford it.
yep,
It's a well-rounded price point. Even the colorized one is not that expensive. It's in the $40 to $50
not
price.
terrible.
So and then they have a copper version as well. If you can't afford the silver, you got
Got the
a
copper.
$1 copper piece that you can still
Yep.
get if you're on a budget. So they did
And
that
then they do the backs too, the silver backs.
right. And then they have notes as well, and the
Yep.
$10. So I mean, the great part about GM Bullion, I mean, I'm a private distributor that I distribute to other dealers, and GM Bullion is one of the biggest retailers out there. But I still have a lot of respect for the AppMexes and the JM Bullions of this world for being able to market to all income classes. As I was saying,
Mhm.
this particular release, not everybody could afford it, and so they had to cancel their subscriptions. And so GM Bullion does a good job of making sure that there's always something out there for everybody. Even if it's not really silver or gold, they have copper nickel stuff. They have plated stuff that's not silver, that's not gold. And before, I used to be like really against doing anything non-silver, non-gold, and I would always promote the silver stuff. But the copper market, the plated market, all these notes that are coming out these days, people want them. People want the stuff. The collectible market is not just silver and gold. As much as I want it to be, it has just
Right. No, and I saw the latest copper release. That heart-shaped skull thing was very, very cool looking. It was.
oh yeah, it's it's taken off in a different way that I would have
Mhm.
imagined. Copper I never dealt with 2 or 3 years ago, and now it's probably about 25 to 50% of her business. It's a huge market. We're talking about colorized, collectible, low mintage copper. I wish I had an example to show you right on my desk. Let me see if I have something here.
I
One second.
actually took all those Zombucks upstairs not too long ago.
I have a couple of things I can show you guys.
I want to come back. I want to come back once we get through a couple more of these releases to the JM Bullion and the what you were saying about all of them. I mean, you can put them all, just call it Big Bullion, how they do offer so much to everybody.
This is the Trump one right here.
Oh yeah, there you go. There he is.
This just came in. It's a nice,
Daddy's home, it says.
it's a nice colorized copper piece. And yeah, they're very detailed. They're very high relief. They're awesome.
Yeah, I see. I can see that.
And then this is one of my favorites, honestly. It's from a buddy of mine. His name is Cool to Coin, and he does a phenomenal dragon. Look at that.
Oh damn.
That is the Cool to Coin.
Nice.
He came out with a special version that he colorized.
Oh, cool.
It's such a nice coin. So these are like 500 mintage, and copper obviously doesn't cost very much. It's $1 or $2 for a copper. Once you get colorized, once you do some of these effects, it costs a little bit more. But he was selling these for 20 to 25 bucks, and people are eating them up on Whatnot or whatever. So
nice
for everything. It's
that's
not
becoming a huge platform.
Not just silver and gold. But I do push. Obviously, that's my primary focus is investment metals that do accumulate value. I do trust the silver and gold market, but the copper thing is there and it exists. You can't. I can't say that.
Can't deny it, right?
It is part of what we do, and I embrace it. And the big mints, I'm sure, eventually, like Germania and all those other mints, they dabble a little bit in copper. I'm sure eventually they'll do a little bit more as well in that. So.
And I know they have bars. Germania has bars, just like they have their silver bars and their gold bars. But yeah, as far as collectible coins or rounds or anything, I haven't seen yet. But next up, we have this. Ooh. And let me see if I can do this, right? So you just think it's a typical, your standard American Silver Eagle, right? But come on, work with me here. There is something different about this one. Ooh. You can kind of see it down there.
Antique?
Trying to get it. No, it's got that little star on it.
Oh, the star privy.
Yeah. Okay. So this, well, come on back. Come off me. I just shaved today. So this one has that star privy. This one is part of that 8th era gaming system, that app you can play on your phone.
Yes.
I have them graded, but I have this one raw. It sits in a tube right here, right? So that was last year in 2024, became the lowest minted
Silver Eagle,
but they're bullion coin with a privy. First bullion Silver Eagle with a privy, because they did the privies on the proof coins, but this is the first time done on a bullion coin, 500,000 coins. And now we have a new one. We have one coming, part of that gaming system again from 8th era games. And it is right here. It is going to be a flying eagle or a soaring eagle, and it's actually above the In God We Trust. I thought I had a better picture. There it is right there. This is a better picture.
I like it better than the star privy just because it's an actual, artistic depiction of an eagle. And then it's just cool to have something that's an actual design like that with a little bit more detail on the coin versus just a star.
And I agree with that.
I really like it.
This slab is a little different. This one is actually your label, correct?
Yes, this is the NGC Real Money label. And it's a label that we've been producing for 2 to 3 years now. It's our exclusive label. We came up with the design, and we only feature about 25, 50, 100 vintage coins that we put in these labels. And anything that exceeds that, we pretty much don't even put it in there. We try to focus on low vintages, only low populations, and that helps the collectability. That it helps people collect them, and then those slabs go up in value on eBay, and some of them go for $200, $300. Some of the lower vintage slabs, but this particular release, the Eagle Privy, I believe, the one that you showed the first time is the first of 50,000 made. That coin is not comped down there. It's $530. One of first 50,000 issues. So this is the actual gaming label. And oh wow, there's a $599.
Exactly. This is the label. So Husky got this from the last one in 2024. He actually got one through the game. He played the game, got to the point, unlocked it, and then paid the like $80. And it came in a nice display box. The MS70 version of that coin.
So I have the one from last year right here. I'll show it to you guys.
Let me see. Yep, there it is right there.
And then it has the characters from the game in the back.
Characters. Yeah, and that's kind of, I wonder. So it does on this one too. It's got characters or coins or something on the back of this one as well.
You know, at the peak, it started off as a $200. No, I'm sorry. It started off as $100 coin. We were for $90 to $100 on Facebook. By the end of, I want to say, a month, it was at $600. 100 to 600. That's 6x right there. And I think they're still trading in the $400 to $500 range. Just like this one, it's $500, $600.
Yeah, $400 on the low end.
$400 on the low end, yeah. For 1 ounce silver, guys.
For 1 ounce, 1 ounce of silver.
And it's a bullion coin. No one can dispute it. This is a bullion coin, 500,000
from the U.S. Mint.
The only thing that makes this rare is the fact that it's the first of 50,000 issued in the gaming label MS70 Silver Eagle SLAB. And
now,
so
you know what?
SLAB is just.
Maybe I didn't pay attention on the last one. Was there gem uncirculated on the last one? Because I know there was 69s.
I have the. Yeah, there it is.
Gem. Okay, so there was gem uncirculated.
Yep, that's a gem uncirculated one. So their gaming labels, they come, in raw coins like the one you had. The label also comes in a gem uncirculated, and it comes in a MS69, which I don't have any 69s. We just did the gem uncs and the MS70s when we first released them. This next one, the Eagle, we sold it in gem unk, raw, and MS69, and then MS70. And then we also did our own custom label, which is the real money label for the Eagle Privy. And we're selling that one for a lot less than the 600 or whatever it goes for now.
Mm-hmm.
Not the first of 50,000. It's only an MS70 Silver Eagle in a real money NGC slab. There's only going to be about 100 of them made, but we keep it at an affordable price point. I think it's going to be about 125, 125, 130 or something like that. You can PM me if you're interested in those, and I can get you hooked up on that. But
nice. So it's a fun thing. It's something different from the U.S. Mint. Yeah, they did it last year. They're going to continue doing it, and who knows how far they'll go with it in the future, or how many other things like this collaborations they'll do. We know we got the DC Comics coins coming in the summertime, some point in time.
I like that they're cross-pollinating markets. They're doing gaming stuff mixed.
They're getting out there. They're not just doing the same old thing.
Well, they have to for all the millennials out there, right?
No doubt.
I don't know what we are, millennials.
Let's see. Oh, all of them didn't. I thought. Oh yeah, I did. So next up, excuse me, is I have a bunch of these to go through. I forget who you told me they were for, but they're statues.
Yes.
And that you're going to be promoting these in the next week or so, or maybe you already are.
I think tomorrow.
That's Hulk, and then I don't know who that is, but he's flipping you the bird.
That's Groot. That's the guy from the Marvel Infinity series.
Gotcha.
And that is one of the
Transformers.
Yep. I'm not familiar what I think that's My Little Pony or something.
My Little Pony or something, right?
I think it's a Pokemon creature. That's a
Godzilla.
Yep.
This one's actually pretty cool. The Charizard. That'd be Pokemon. Yep. So we got these to look forward to coming up. And who's doing these?
These statues are from AB Custom, and this is a guy that does all 3D statues. His name is AJ Bain. I've known him for about 5 years now. He does incredible. There's only a couple guys that are capable of doing really nice professional made 3D statues. He's one of them. The other guy is Gold Spartan, and we're going to show you a few of his items right there. This is Gold Spartan's late series right here. He's doing a Scrooge series. He's got the Scrooge holding a diamond, and then the Scrooge holding the coin. These have been incredibly popular. We have sold
He does a good job. He really does.
It's such a phenomenal design, and just the production. Everything is just polished and clean looking. I love it. You know, when you do these kind of statues, when you do them in 999 silver, most statues that have been done since the 70s or 80s or whatever, they started doing 3D statues a long time ago. They were always made with sterling silver. These newer designers are making them with 999 silver as an alternative. The reason they did sterling back in the day was because you can bend them and it would hold. You know, sterling has that alloy in it, which makes it a little bit less prone to bending and getting all dinged and scratched. The 999 is pure, and it does bend a little bit more, but people like to know that they're investment casts. That's what they call them, investment casts.
Yep.
That they're silver, they're not alloyed or anything like that. But incredible job. These guys are coming out with some unique stuff for sure.
All right, I wanted to loop back around now and just briefly touch on this before we get out of here.
Sure.
At the end of March, they were calling for something, and I didn't realize this until I spoke with somebody from Hero Bullion. Jake from Hero Bullion called me, and we had a conversation about it.
I know Jake.
This Silver Squeeze 2.0, what have you, whatever you want to call it. And I'm glad you touched on the bullion dealers, because so this was going on. I was on vacation. I was kind of separating myself from social media. I recorded some videos and published them while I was on vacation, because I knew I was going to be gone 2 weeks. So I did a bunch of stuff beforehand, set it so it could publish, recorded a couple goldback videos while I was down there, but that's when I was out and about, not really quote unquote family time. Anyways, doesn't matter.
Did you give the gold back?
I did. Well, I tried at a Publix. I did actually a really good video. I had a great conversation with the cashier at Publix. I kind of knew that they weren't going to work,
right?
But she had no clue what it was either. She had absolutely no clue what it was. And I said, you know what? If anything, you're going to get a little education out of this. I gave her, I believe, 2 of the half goldbacks. I ended up giving away a lot of them just to, like, I stopped at a toll booth and I said,
ends up in the trash.
Well, that's just it. And I said, all I said is just do a little research on them. I said, these have value. I said, it's 24 karat gold. I said, they're about $3 or something a piece. And then, so we're talking about this. I said, Jake, I have no clue. You know, I've been out of the loop for, you know, going on a few days now. As soon as we got done on the conversation, I opened up YouTube and there it is. Silver Squeeze. Don't do it. Do it. Beware. You know, it just mind blowing, right? Just mind blowing of the stuff apparently I missed while just not opening my phone and checking YouTube, right? But what caught my eye on some of them was some of these content creators really bashing these big bullion dealers for actually promoting sales during that time,
right?
Which just seems odd to me. It's like it's their business, right? Then they're in a business to sell us bullion. That's why would they not want to open their doors and have as many people as they possibly could come in? And why would you be against that? Why would you be against somebody selling something on one day?
Right.
And then that's the main thing. And I get that they're trying to flip it and, you know, use it to cause a market, not crash, but drive the market up, drive a shortage, which is never really going to happen.
Sure.
But it just gets spun around in such a negative way when realistically, to me, all it is a day that you and I and this guy and that guy, we say, hey, if we can afford to buy an ounce or two or an ounce of gold or some silver, let's all do it on this day. You know, what's the harm in that?
I like it. Good way to get everybody
on. And that's just it. And that's the way I feel about the bullion dealers. I think it's a great thing that they're offering all this stuff and you have so many options. Like I actually recorded a video before we did this and I explained that big bullion dealers or guys like yourself are my option of buying what I buy, because I can't make that relationship with the local coin guy, because the local coin guy is an hour and a half, 2-hour drive, work, family. I just don't have the time. And if I did, I'd be just like the other YouTubers out there. I'd take a camera in there with me and record a video, and God all knows where I'd be, right? But I just don't have the time.
I don't know if it's going to affect the market by having everybody buy. By the way, is it already over the silver squeeze, or did it?
It's already over inside the video, because
Okay.
I don't know when it'll come out or later. But I actually showed the silver chart leading up to it,
Yes.
and it did drop off afterwards. Like, it wasn't the hurrah, we bought low and it, gonna go high. It was, you bought at $34 plus your premium, and then it went back down to 30.
Well, as you know, that in the past week, since the factor that's really moving the markets and every market is the tariff situation right now. Silver squeeze this, silver squeeze whatever.
Yeah.
In general, the tariff situation has completely thrown a monkey wrench into the markets. And if you've watched silver price, it went to almost $34, like you were saying. And with 1 week or so, in the past week, 7 days, we've seen it as low as 27.95 or high 27s, 28. And then within that same night on Sunday, this is the Chinese market. Last Sunday, it went from 28 back to 30.50 the next day. Went down about $4 or $5 in a week, and by the next few days, it was back in the 30s. And right now we're teetering around 31 or 32. So the price action is, I think it's irrelevant to the silver squeeze. I think the tariffs are really moving the prices.
And that's when we had that drop off. I drag my mouse across that screen so you can see the dates, you can see the times, and come April 2nd, when he put those into place, is when it just dropped down. And obviously we're in the 10th and things are coming back up and they're kind of staying put, but who knows? Like you said, we are on a 90-day break now from tariff scares, but who knows?
Gold is almost at 3,200 an ounce, which is
exactly. I think before I got on here, it was 3170 something.
Another all-time high right there. I mean, this week we were selling 1/10 ounce gold coins right at that price at about 3.
Yes, I remember
320, and we're already at 3,200, which is spot. So back in the day, you couldn't get 1/10 ounce gold coins for less than, I want to say, 25 over melt or whatever the melt value is. If gold's at $3,300 plus 25, 325 or 340 would be the price for 1/10 ounce gold. I mean, I sold it for maybe $5 above the price, and it's already at the market price, or where spot is.
Yes.
So it's impossible to predict where things are going to be, but I think we're on a rocket ship right now.
Yeah.
It seems like it. Sometimes we do have bombs that come that bring us down, but I think gold has been on a rocket ship for the past year or two, right?
It has been. It's been fun to watch, but man, it'd be nice to go back to the good old days. But even then, it was the same. It's like, oh man, it just went up again. Now it's 140. Now it's 145 for that 1/10 ounce. Now you're talking 320.
Exactly.
Wow.
I like the fact that silver is more affordable and everybody can buy it. But
that's just it. Metals is wide open for anybody and everybody. I try and spread the good word, even to the guys I work with. Listen, man, physical assets is where you should have some money. So I can't stress it enough.
We did put out, because gold is so high, so not everybody can afford it, but we put out a Monarch Precious Metals 1/200th ounce gold coin. I think we've done one 1/100th and 1/200th, and they're only like $20 to $30 or whatever. And so people
affordable. That's just it. It's affordable.
They still
want gold.
They want it in the under $50 range, and so there is something for you. If you want gold and you only have $25 to $50, you can still get it. It's out there. So
that's just it. And watch that $25, $50 turn into $60, turn into $65.
Exactly.
Or you can take the $65 and go to the bar, whatever you want to do, I guess.
Cheers to that.
Well, yeah. Well, Sean,
good talking.
It's been a pleasure, man. And hopefully next time Husky can get on with us. I know you're a busy dude, so
I'm going to get back to work.
Yeah, right. You'll be going till 2 or 3 in the morning.
No, I stopped doing that. My bedtime is 11. I don't anymore, man. Can't handle it.
I had to turn the notifications off. Some of them late nights kept me up. All right, buddy. I appreciate it. We'll be chatting again. And I thank you.
Thanks again, man. Take care. Bye-bye.
Later on.